There's only a couple more weeks before me and the motorhome head off on a bit of a dream road trip to this incredible country. Now on this road trip, I'm also going to be shooting a video every single day that I'm travelling, which is a lot of work. I've got a lot of miles to cover, I've got a lot of things to see, and to make sure I can do it as efficiently as I can, I need to make sure the van is perfect, or at least as close to perfect as I can get it. Now the only way I can test that things are going to work and kind of be efficient is to head off on another Shakedown road trip. So that's what this video is. I'm heading off just over the Scottish border, do a couple of days up there to test out essentially a new video editing setup and a bit of a gaming setup, just to keep us occupied. If the weather's a bit crap, which it could be in Norway, and I'm stuck in the van for a couple of days, I don't want to be working all the time. So I'll show you that later on in the video, but the editing setup I'm really pleased with, and it has involved 3D printing a couple of parts, which I'll show you in just a minute. But this came. Now this is the very first sample of the Norway travel guide. It's split into two parts. There's no photos in it yet, as you can see, the blank pages, and that's what I'm heading off to Norway to get. But the first part is all about, before you go to Norway, everything from passports and visas, additional things to think of. If you're arriving in different countries from England, whether you're getting the ferry to Holland or whether you're driving to France, what do you need in each of them countries? The different ferries you can get, the routes, the costs of them, the different times of year to visit, all of that. That's in the first part of the book. The second part of the book is the actual road trip. So once you get to Norway, so there's part 1 and part 2, and they both have 2 different things in them before you go, when you're there. It's got everything that you're going to need to be able to plan an incredible road trip in Norway. And again, you can pick up a copy of that. There's a 10% discount as a pre-order. So the plan for today is, initially I'm heading up to Kielder, because there's a viaduct in Kielder that I've never managed to photograph, because every time I've been past it, I haven't had my camera. Bar once when I was on a bike, and I'd rather gouge my eyes out with a rusty spoon than have to get off that bike seat and have to sit back on it. My arse was killing us. I don't know how people ride bikes. It was absolute agony. I didn't like it, didn't enjoy it. After that, I'm going to dip across the border into Scotland, into a place called Langholm. It's a lovely village where there's loads of stuff I want to photograph, and I've found 2 Parkups, because last time I stayed there I ended up staying in a lay-by on the side of a busy road, and it wasn't particularly great. We were getting battered by like lorries flying past all night, and I barely got any sleep. So this time I found somewhere that looks to be a little bit more secluded, hopefully a lot quieter and a lot more peaceful. It's kind of maybe 10 minutes outside the village, up in the hills. So fingers crossed they work out well. If they do, great. If they don't, then I might have to resort back to that lay-by again. Burger buns, because I'm going to make a burger. We'll pop that here up there. Some Mexicana spicy cheese, gives us a bit of heartburn sometimes, but I've got Gaviscon, so all is good. Some smash burgers again. Smash burgers are ideal for, just because they're thinner, they cook faster. Some bacon for me burger, smoked. If it's not smoked bacon, it's not bacon. Coleslaw as well. Then I thought, if I get some chicken thigh drumsticks, I can air fry the living hell out of them. Bit of salt and pepper on, crispy skin. Delicious. Guess which traffic I'm in? Obviously, it's the A1 at the Angel next to Team Valley, because since I passed my driving test, I'm 39 now, I passed when I was 17, so a long time ago. This road has basically been having roadworks done the entire time that I've been driving. He's washing cones, that's why it's down. So all the cones they've put out are presumably to protect the people that are out washing cones that they put out. That's the business to be in. Actually, that is it. Be like, well, no, we need to put cones down. Why? Well, because we're going to wash the cones that we've just put out. Tell you another good industry to be in, actually. Pothole fillers, or whatever they will be classed as who do that, because eventually, after, I don't know, 15 years of a big pothole being there, they'll come out, patch it up, but they'll fill it obviously too much, so now it's like a bump instead of like a pothole. Then when it gets cold, it cracks and all falls out, and then they get the same contract to go and fill them again. Top business, that. I'm here at Parkups, I think. Viewpoint. Or car park. Oh, you've got to pay here now. Don't think you had to pay before, so I'll have to go and have a look at that, because I'm going to probably stay here for half an hour, grab something to eat. It's warm, like. The temperature hasn't half picked up. I'm currently getting the leveling legs out, mainly because this car park is on a big old slant, and I want to just sit and chill, and it's much nicer when I'm level and I'm not falling all over the place. So it's going to have to lift the back off the floor fair chunk, I think, because the whole car park's like that, which is one of the reasons I've reversed in, other than the fact that I want to see the scenery out the back. Is obviously the front is already a little bit lower than the back anyway, so it doesn't have to lift it quite as far as it would if it was the other way around. So just waiting for that now. We're getting the back up. Ooh. Here we go. One of my favourite things I bought for the van, actually, these legs. That and the electrical system really help. But there we go. We're nice and level. So let's go and have a look outside and see how high up it's had to lift us. And I'll show you the nice little McLaren that's sitting right next to us. He'll be fuming when he gets back and realises that there's someone parked next to it. I would have been. So there we go. The rear is a little bit off the floor, but not miles off the floor. For anyone that hasn't seen the air fryer up to now, I'll show you it. So it's a Ninja one. Just got it on the floor behind here. It's not too bad, actually. So it's a big dual zone one. That wind's howling through here. Bloody hell, that's close. So it's a big dual zone air fryer, and the van obviously has a big old beefy electrical setup anyway. I'll shut the door. So the van has a decent electrical setup. We've got 660 amp of lithium currently, and hopefully, not that I really need it, so I'm not too fussed if I can't sort of, but hopefully next week I'll be getting another 330 amp battery, which takes, or will take, the sort of total capacity obviously to 990 amp, which is a bit ridiculous. Air fry temperature 180 and time 16 minutes. We've got 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. Let's check on the electric, shall we? 98%. Not bad at all. We've had a slight coffee mishap. This and the buns fell out of there when I opened it, and I've just splashed me coffee all over the place. Of course I have. Everything was gone lush. Yeah, it's not too bad. I've just give it a wipe down. But luckily it splashed the other way, because it would have absolutely covered me. But there's my wings done. So before I go, I get a load of people ask, how long does it take for the van to drop all the way down to the floor? Does it take a while? It takes a little bit to level it, but it takes not long at all to drop the van down. So I'll go and set the camera up outside and I'll drop it down, and you can watch how long it takes in normal speed to drop the van down. Didn't really want to get the van muddy, if I'm honest. It's like a muddy car park. I only cleaned it again the other day. Should be space in this paint display job lot up here. Roof getting smothered by bloody trees round here. I'll just pull in. Is he gonna let me? Cheers, pedal. I'll park at the entrance, and then I'm hopefully not tatting everyone's space up this all day. So I'm here at what I think is the right car park. I'm not 100% sure. Like I say, that any times I've been, I've never actually parked nearest to it. It's normally when we've done like a lap around the reservoir. I think this is it. I've just had to pay a £5 for parking, which is a bit of a rip. And it's funny because obviously the machines never work. And then they say, oh, just scan this QR code. You don't need to download an app. But obviously it's in Calder. It's like there's no phone signal. So luckily the van has got Wi-Fi, which lets us obviously get it. But if you haven't got a van with its on like Starlink, specifically if it's using like a SIM card, you're not going to have a signal in Calder anyway. So good luck. Before I go, actually, what we're thinking about the little interior choices. I went for a little bit of burnt orange and creamish colour, just at the front, well at the back, and then here I've got the old cushions, mainly just because they're not new, and I wanted new stuff at the back. But I mean, with that lighting, it looks glorious, doesn't it? And then here we also have a lamp. It's a nice warm colour. I like coziness when I'm in the van. Got pictures of the kids and Danny and the dogs on the fridge. I think that might be about it. Actually, these air fresheners work a treat. They didn't really use any power at all, to be honest, and they do a very good job of stopping the stench. Still haven't got the cushion back, so you might notice it's still missing. Hopefully get that back before Norway. Well, I will get it back before Norway, but hopefully I get it back finished and not just taking it back because they haven't managed to fit it in just yet. But I'm going to grab my camera and then we'll push out of the viaduct. Right, we've got a bit of an issue. I've made a slight miscalculation. I was wanting to be in Langholm roughly for about 5 o'clock, maybe 4, so that I can do a bit of photography once the sun's dropped a little bit. The sun will not be as harsh, and then I can head up to where I'm parking up for the night and sort of chill, make some tea and all the rest of it. I'm currently 26 minutes away from Langholm, and I'm going to be there by 2:30. So I'm about 2 hours early, and it's brought up probably a bigger issue which I really need to get better at, and that is whenever I'm by myself in the van. Now again, I probably need to mention this, I've maybe spent 7 nights away from Danny since we moved in together and got married and stuff. I just didn't like spending time away from her and the kids. And there's some blokes and some women that are just more than happy they might travel for work and all the rest of it. I do not like that. I've never liked that. I like being at home with the wife and with the kids. Or not necessarily at home, but I just didn't like being away from the wife and kids. I just want to be around them. So it's gonna be a big old adjustment, the Norway trip. And because I didn't like being away from them, what I always find myself doing, so like when I come away to do the last Shakedown trip, what I ended up doing was I drove like 9 hours or so the first day. The next day I went to the beaches and stuff like you've seen on the second episode of the videos. And then the third day, instead of doing Fort William and Glencoe that I said I was going to do, I thought, oh well, I've pretty much done everything I want to do anyway. I'll just drive 10 hours and drive straight home and surprise the kids and Danny a day early, which is what I done. But because of that, that's kind of why I've had to come away this time, because I still had stuff that I didn't do that I was trying to do, which was test the new edit and sort of set up and all the rest of it. And I've got a really bad habit well, it's not a bad habit, I suppose it's a good habit, because that means I'm spending time with my wife and kids. But because of that, I always end up like trying to get everywhere far too fast. I try and like fit too many things in a day, and I feel like I've never really experienced where I am. I've just ran all out like a blue ass fly, as me granddad would have said, and then I come home stressed a bit, and I feel like I haven't really enjoyed it because I've been too busy. So I've nipped into the Co-op, and I thought what I might do next, partially to kill a bit of time, partially because I have to anyway, really, is I think I'm going to head up to the Parkup, just or the sort of the one that I think looks best, and then at least I'll have time. Well, I've got plenty of time. Time is definitely not the issue, but at least that way I'll know whether I'm going to park up at this one tonight or whether I'm going to look for a different Parkup. Well, that one rules that out because the road leading up to where that Parkup was is closed. So I think what I'll do is I need to find somewhere to turn around now, and then I think I'll just chill in Langholm for a bit, go for a walk, do a bit of photography, sit and chill down by the river for maybe an hour or so, and then I'll hop on Park for night, see if I can find another little Parkup. In all fairness, the one that we stayed at last time is here. I'll show you it because this is where I'm going to turn around. But I parked up in here and we stayed the night in here, and it wasn't bad. I mean, obviously there's a lot of traffic along here on a night, so you do get a fair bit of noise, and there's a fair old bit of rubbish in that, and there was last time as well. Scruffy, to be fair. But there's this. But I don't think I'm going to stay here. I've got plenty of time to push on a little bit further and head a bit further afield. So I think what I'll do is I'll go and chill in. I'll go to Langholm, do a bit in Langholm, and then I'll figure it out after that, and I'll hop on Park for night, and we'll see what we can find and go from there, really. I think that's the best option. So it looks like I've found a Parkup in Hawick. It is warm. The weather is scorching. I wonder, let's see what the temperature in the van is. 24 degrees inside the van. That's a bit hot. Very hot. But we're going to head up now to Hawick, which is where the Parkup is. I'm heading off a little bit early, I suppose. It's 3:45, but I want to just get set up and be able to just sort of chill out a little bit later on. So I thought if I set off now and get there for about 4:10, and then it means I can go for a little wander around Hawick. I haven't really spent a lot of time. I've driven through it a couple of times, but I've never really stayed in Hawick before, so we'll see what it's like there. Currently half a mile away from Hawick, and it's brought us down a mad old little magical mystery route through forests and stuff, and I don't know what good old Google Maps is doing bringing us down roads like this, but you know what it's like sometimes. So rather than just go around the outside on a nice, fast, easy to drive section, it's brought us down essentially a rally track for timber lorries, which I hope I didn't bump into one going the other way, because I think it's a timber route, this one. That is one thing that sometimes is a bit tedious. You can get like them tom-tom things and that, but I'm not too bothered about like getting one of them, to be fair. Generally it's only 6.9 meters long, it's not too big. But yeah, we'll see what this Parkup like. To be honest, I may have pressed on the wrong place, because this does not seem like where I thought it was, and I was messing on a little bit on Google. let's just pull our ear a sec while I figure out where the bloody hell I've brought myself, because this definitely isn't where I'm wanting to be. Itinerary, give us it on a map. 15 minutes. Where the hell has this took me, man? This is what I mean. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what button I've pressed and how I've ended up here. But I've been to Howick, I've driven through it, and I didn't know you could come this way. So now I'm on a git lush little horrible tiny road for 8 mile, rather than a nice easy to drive dual carriageway. So I'm still 20 minutes away, which is a little bit annoying. It's nice though here, very scenic. What a little delight this road's been. I'm glad there's not been any other traffic. Been a couple of nice little park-ups. I don't know if I would park up this way though. It feels like you're sort of getting in the way of like farmers and that down here. But there was a T5, 6, 4, whatever, an orange one parked up in a nice little spot further back. I ain't parking here. Like I say, I'm not so bothered about having nice scenery. But this drive's been lovely. The scenery's lush. The road's strangely in good condition considering it's in the middle of nowhere. And thankfully we haven't come up against any other trucks or cars just yet. I'm not necessarily one for stereotyping, but it seems like there's a bit of a fair thing on, and I don't really fancy parking around the stuff that's there. Let's just put it that way. So this would have been a lush spot. I would have very happily parked here. But not when that's on. Definitely not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to park in this car park a sec for bargain buys. Sometimes when you come to rural parts of Scotland like this, or parts, not that it's rural necessarily, but it feels like you're going back in time about 20 years. But yeah, I'm going to have to try and figure out somewhere else I can park the night, because I ain't staying here. That's for sure. Yeah, there's not a lot really in these parts. There's stuff near Selkirk. I just didn't want to drive too far. That's the only thing. Tell you what, we'll try the pub one. Let's do that. So I've got 16 minutes. Apparently it's free if you go for a meal and that. So I'll just eat out the night and go and have a couple of beers if I'm allowed to stay in the car park and they're happy enough with us to do it. It means I can have a couple of cheeky little bevies in the pub and just chill for a bit. Let's try this, shall we? Oh well, was looking forward to this part up. I like having a nice little river and stuff I can just totter out my door to in the morning, but never mind. There's absolutely not a chance I'm parking there with them, let's be honest. And when I say them, I didn't mean it in a harsh way, but you know what I mean. To be honest, it's the car parks were both full and it looks like there's a campsite right next to it as well. So I think Carter Bar is probably going to be the best option and probably the closest as well. This is Vanlife. This is what Vanlife's actually like usually. Not always as easy as you would like. Definitely not where I wanted to sleep, like, to be fair. Just don't know if I can be tutored to any more driving now. There's not really a lot around here, that's the problem. The nearest to here really is probably Kielder. And I've started at Kielder, I don't want to go all the way back to Kielder. Scrap that idea, it stunk of piss, it was busy. and I didn't want cars and vans and stuff just driving past all night, and it is a busy section of road that, so I will end up having a disturbed night. Now, it's rare that I have this kind of nightmare finding a part up, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've actually had this kind of nightmare trying to find a part up, because I've been unlucky. The two that I've seen that I was planning on going to, I couldn't get to because the road was shut. And then the next one, you have the carnival in town, and I ain't joining the Greatest Showman scene. So that was a no-go. And then the pub seems to not have a car park free anymore. Just had loads of stuff dumped in the car park, and then I could have stayed there, but I just didn't fancy it. So I had 3 close calls that didn't work, and then this one that I just didn't fancy staying at. So normally it wouldn't be an issue, but I'm just a bit knackered now. I feel like I've done a fair bit of driving today and I just can't be chewed, but it'll be right. Change of plan, found a little pullover about 5 minutes later, if that, and we've actually stopped here before. Not overnight, but I've definitely stayed here before, and it ain't a little bad a little bad location. So this will do me nicely. I think it's off the road. I can leave enough space for trucks and that to get past. I can get it's not level at all, but the legs will fix that for us anyway. I am going to drop the back down though, so that I don't have to be too high up, because I think it may be windy tonight. I don't know why I've got this feeling. So we'll get the back down and we'll get the legs down, and then we are laughing tea cakes. I think I quite like the new front end of the Ducatos and stuff, you know. I don't know why. Oh, I am tired as a dog, and the van will be on still. Oh, my legs. Yeah, the van's up a little bit, like. I have got the keys, haven't I? Yes, I have. So I'll show you the van. As you can see, it's pretty high off the floor. It's actually off at the front on both sides, and that is it. Why do people do that, man? There's just tramps, literally. I mean, it's just bottles and stuff everywhere. I mean, at the same time, why is there not a bin here? It makes no sense. It's just sheer laziness from the council, as well as the people who dump in the shite, to be fair. Disgusting. So I'm going to get the little office setup done so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll show you around it because I need to download all the footage off this video camera and off that one. Then I'll put some tea on. But let's get this set up first, and I'll show you what I'm working with. So essentially what I've tried to achieve with this setup is I want it to be as close to what I've got at home as possible, because I want it to be as easy and as quick to edit as it is at home. And the main way to do that is to bring my keyboard, bring my mouse, bring a monitor, albeit this isn't the one I use at home, but this is a cool portable monitor that you can power just through USB. So essentially this is the setup. It's a 15.6 inch portable screen, so it's a USB powered screen. You can actually power it through the laptop, so you can just plug the laptop in, plug the screen into the laptop through USB, and it'll actually charge and power through that, which is good. It's 4K, it's great. It wasn't the cheapest. I will put a link to it in the description, but I think it was about 350 quid, which is quite a lot for essentially a small laptop screen that's just kind of portable. But if this doesn't work tonight, the only other option that I've got really is to bring me full on like home laptop, which I don't really want to do, because that's well, not my home laptop, sorry, my home monitor. It's been a long day today, so yeah, I don't really want to do that. But if this isn't any good and it's a little bit tedious, then I will do that. There's me tea done, a burger, some potato crisp cuts, which are lush, and some coleslaw. Health wise, probably couldn't get any worse, but taste, Sensational. Hoover and done. Great little hoover, this thing. It's the Shark Summit. I don't know which one it is, but it's a pet one, and it's fantastic. It's very handy. It's been a bit of a day full of ups and downs today. The Parkup thing's got us absolutely knackered. I think, not that it was late or anything that I got here, but I think because I was planning on being here early and then I didn't get here early, that was a bit of an issue. So yeah, slight pain in the arse, to be honest, but it's no drama. It's only 8 o'clock, but I had half an hour or so on the Xbox. I'm just going to sit and chill, watch a bit of YouTube, maybe a bit of Netflix or something, and then head to bed early tonight, ready for maybe a day in Northumberland tomorrow. So I'll try and book the campsite at Bamburgh Castle, and if I can get it, great. If I can't, I can't. But thanks for watching. If you've got this far, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.